Ladies and gentlemen, we are live now, and this is Manoj Atri, your host. I'm a real estate agent with Remax Hallmark, and again, thank you for joining. We are working hard to get this webinar rolling on time without any glitches. We will reach there, and we are slowly and steadily getting the feel of it, getting the feel of YouTube, getting the feel of live streaming. Audio, Skype issues we are still having, but we'll see if we can get our expert there with his audio proper. We are still working on that, so I hope to get it resolved, but we'll see as it goes along. Again, thank you for joining. So let's go for the day agenda where we are today. And today we are going to start with, again, I'll start with my main monologue. That's what I do, real estate monologue. And the topic I'm considering, working on today is renting versus buying. Now, this is a burning issue. The market has gone completely changed, and on a regular basis, on a daily basis, in fact, it is changing. And I am going to give you some alternatives, and that is where we are here for. I'll give you the renting format, what's exactly going on in the market, and how we can show you different formats to purchase the property. And me and my team, that is what we are there to, in these particular webinars, that's what we are trying to tell you is, if by chance you have a slight inclination on going into this real estate bandwagon, then we are there to take you to the next level. We will go out of our way to assist you, and that is why taking that step, we are going to help you out from renting to buying. So that would be the main one, and I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to go through some of the articles that are burning hot topics for all of us, and that is where we are. Next is, again, we've been trying to get our credit repair expert online. We are running into glitches. We're still running into a glitch with his audio. We'll see. We'll test him out again once today. And if it works, then we will get all his expertise. And but even if we get him, or even if we don't get him, we have the credit repair expert right there to get your credits addressed. So the team is already there. The webinar may be having some glitches, but the team is completely there. It is fully packed and ready to go. Now, next, I'll be picking it up on some of the things that are very, very important. And people keep on asking me, what is the property purchasing fees? I mean, what are the numbers that we are looking for? So I'll give you those numbers. I'll give you some examples. And if we get some time, then we'll cover our last one, which is the one that is the most important one. That's the real program. That's the rent to own program details. And I'll walk you through some of the programs. We'll also putting in lots of other stuff together for you as we are going along behind the scenes, and we will be able to walk you through. So let's start with my real estate monologue today and get you started with the rent versus buying. So let's head over to Google. So give me a second when I get the Google part rolling. Okay, 1 second. Let me get the first article in place. Okay, and we are now on Google now. Okay, so this is where things are moving today. And this is a latest article, like rent saw double-digit gains in these cities. Now, it's not only here in the Toronto and GTA, it is everywhere in the Canadian cities that we are seeing a rise, and rents are seeing some of them are even in the double-digit gains. Good, and that's what the article is saying. It is a good news for investors, not so much for renters, as rents in 13 Canadian cities gained in the year to August 2018. They are going high everywhere. So that is where the entire trend is. Rents in every city of Canadian cities, or almost 13 Canadian cities, are going high as per this particular article. Let's look into the next article. Okay, this is another one. You now need to earn nearly 6 figures to rent out a 1-bedroom apartment in Toronto. And this particular article has gone into a major detail here, walking you through exactly why do you need a 6-figure income. And it is really serious that in order for you to be considered, because to procure a property, you will be seriously contemplating getting into the higher price ranges. Now, again, this particular article is also giving you, according to new figures released by Pat Mapper, a rental listing website, the median price of an available 1-bedroom in Toronto is now close to $2,200. So that is where it goes. And this, the reason I'm walking you through some of these articles here is, on a regular weekly basis, this is the numbers that I'm getting, anywhere between $2,000 to $2,300 to $2,500 per month is the rental. That's the new reality on the ground. So that's why I'm walking you through, like, the numbers have changed. And that is why every one of these articles is now explaining you those numbers. Now, and that is the website that we were just discussing about, which is the Pat Mapper. And this is the one that they are giving you, a 1-bedroom median rent prices. And this is the top 5 most expensive market. This is what is coming over. The information is coming to us on a daily basis. Toronto, Ontario remained the most expensive rental market in the nation, with 1-bedroom growing 2.8% to $2,200, while 2-bedrooms stayed fairly stable at $2,800. It is already too high, but it's remaining stable at $2,800. Notably, 2-bedroom rent here is up 15.6% since this time last year. 15.6% is quite an amount. I mean, try to visualize. You're either paying $2,200 or $2,800. So you are between $2,000 and $3,000 per month if you are today going and searching for a rental property, which is like either a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. And that's the reality on the ground. Now, I'll just go through some of these very fast articles if I can get them properly, because I don't get to see. This is the headlines. As Toronto has grown, it's becoming more unaffordable. Now, the city politicians should fix it up. That is the burning issue. I mean, from my point of it, and that is where things are going. It is in no simple terms, it is becoming unaffordable. That's the reality on the ground again. Let's get into another headline. And that is where things are. Sky-high housing cost. Let's let it load up. Let's see if I can move fast on this one, but it is blank. But sky-high housing costs have renters considering exodus from GTA. That is what is happening. and Toronto renters are contemplating leaving the city in droves based on increasing unaffordable real estate market. And this article goes to cover more on that same format. And more than, it says, let me see if I can, more than half of renters living in the Greater Toronto Area, some 59%, are seriously considering moving from the region because there is no chance of affording the kind of home or condominium that would allow them to live comfortably or raise a family. This is the, on a daily basis, this is the information that we are getting, and that is where the reality on the ground is going. And now this was an important headline which I saw. This was some months ago. Even New Yorkers cannot afford an apartment in Toronto. So things are not what they are. Okay, now let's get into the rental market report. Okay, because we need some numbers to understand how to go about things. Okay, so let's see if I can load up this rental market report. Now, this is the rental market report, which was done some 2-3 months ago. And that is where this is. So if you will see that the average rent for a 1-bedroom is close to $2,000. That was the real estate board rental market summary for the second quarter of 2018. If you go here, these are average rent is around $2,000, whereas the average rent in the same quarter last year, I think so that's what they are wanting to tell, was around $1,861. So there has been an increase there. The 2-bedrooms are going around $2,755, whereas it was last year $2,500, and 3-bedrooms are but obvious. You can, I would say, in case if you're going for the 3-bedroom, might as well pick up a property. So the gist of the entire thing here is that the 1-bedrooms are between $2,000 and $2,300, and the 2-bedrooms are between $2,500 and $3,000. So now let's get into our article, what I am trying to explain you for renting versus buying. Okay, so let's let this load up. Okay, so here we are, and that is where my the main crux of the matter here is. What can we do here, and how can we like explain you? It can be in your interest to purchase a property than to rent it out. Let's see. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's go get into the hard facts here. Again, we have just discussed rent is between $2,000 and $2,300. So I'm working with the lowest conservative numbers. I'm not going to the extreme for $2,500 and $3,000. So I'm working with the lower numbers, and let's see if we can make some sense out of this. And now let's consider you buying a property. There are a few properties. Yeah, it is a tough exercise in itself, but there are still a few properties. And with a price, and we are assuming that you pick up a property for $500,000, utilities being around $300 per month, and taxes being around $300 per month. I'm just keeping all the round numbers just to comprehend so that we can understand where things are, and just walk you through this particular concept and see if it makes sense to you. So the first thing that we are discussing here is, and I'm going to go with lower rent amount. I'm not working with the higher rent amount, so that can make it look different. So let's work with the lower renting amount, and starting with, let's say the renting amount is $2,000 per month. I'm assuming that all the utilities and all extras are all included in this particular price. So I'm keeping it absolutely bottom. It is going to be tight, but I'm still keeping it bottom. Okay, and it's a simple maths, nothing complicated here. So the total money that you will be spending per year is around close to $24,000 per year. Very simple maths, nothing complicated, keeping it simple so that we can understand some numbers here. Now let's start with buying a property, and we let's get into the detail of procuring a property for $500,000. I could go for 400. I'm keeping it $500,000 because even if you like a property, the reality on the ground is at 500 you still have some properties. Not everything is doomed. So let's work with a property which is closer to $500,000. Your mortgage, again, I'm trying to keep some semblance to it, and let's say you are able to procure a mortgage which is close to $2,400. I'm slightly going with round numbers, and just for explanation purposes so that you can comprehend. Utilities plus insurance could be $300, and taxes could be another $300. So again, these are on an average numbers. They can be slightly here and there, but just trying to get you some semblance about the whole thing. And so now I'm telling you, like, if you pick up a property for $500,000, your per month amount is going to be close to $3,000. Now, the reason I'm going to give you the next one is just trying to assume that you are renting and you want to take a different turn. And let's say suppose in order to match up those same numbers, I'm going to suggest you, if possible and if allowed, rent a portion of your house, maybe a room, maybe some portion of the basement, somewhere or the other, if it's feasible, and rent it out for $1,000 a month. It's a possibility. I've already told you there are if you start going and searching for rental properties, it's getting very, very difficult on a daily basis. So you can take also the advantage of that, and the advantage is rent out a portion of your room, of your house, for $1,000 a month. And if you can understand this maths, you are at the same grand total. Same grand total of $24,000 per year. Okay, now it seems very, very easy here, and it can be, but I'll just walk you through some of the challenges. Okay, so let me have a sip. So now let's simply review what's exactly going on here. What is the review between renting versus buying? Now, we were renting it out for $24,000 per year. Now, in this particular amount, $24,000 per year, this amount is completely gone. You're never going to get this back. This is a total lost case. You can simply say it's gone down the drain. So entirely $24,000 is gone. There is no hope on this particular $24,000. Whereas, let's give it a different scenario. You had bought a property. With the trend that has been going till now, a 5% appreciation is very basic minimum on a $500,000 property. And you could easily make $25,000 there. Appreciation on the property. Now, if you consider this, then if everything is looking rosy here, yes, it is. It is a possibility because many people are doing it. It is not that I'm suggesting it. It is not that these numbers are unrealistic. Many people have, and that was the entire gist and crux of my email to you, that people are making more money with real estate than their income. If you see these numbers, then you have made a profit of even $1,000 and you are rent free. These numbers work. Yes, I can absolutely come, and because why is not everyone jumping on the bandwagon is there are some challenges, and let's go through some challenges here. The biggest challenges are that is what I have been discussing in my previous webinars. You have a credit challenge. You have an income challenge. You have a deposit challenge. Yes, I understand those challenges. Now, that is where we come into the picture. If you have a credit issue, we have an expert there. We can fix it for you. We can help you to get it fixed up. If you are running into an income challenge, I will walk you through some of the things that other people are doing it. And you can ponder on. So these are some of the things that you can ponder upon and see if it is making sense to you or not. The next one is deposit. At this moment, yes, you can come up with a deposit, and I have in my last webinar, I've explained you where we have been able to get you some respite on those deposits. You can have the deposit and then get the cash back. Again, everything is dependent upon the lenders. Everything is dependent upon you getting approval. And those are the things. Yes, we are these particular things. We are there to assist you to take it to the next level. But you will have to make an effort. You will have to understand these numbers. And the numbers are there. And many people are doing it. And they are doing it exceptionally well. They have understood these numbers. They are working hard and they are making money in real estate like crazy. Now, the next one is, you can also come up with me and tell me, yes, you're not comfortable renting. Then that won't work. But now, you will have to take the pros and cons on this one. Whether you would keep on renting it out, and then every time, because these are the stories which I'm hearing from the market, that you had picked up a property and suddenly after some period of time, the landlord comes and tells you, I have to move in. And now every year you have no other issue except to keep on moving. And when every time you keep on moving, then you are like, that's also not an equally good situation. Here, you may have to learn the traits of renting, and you may have to pick it up. Yes, it's a possibility. But is that an issue? Yes, that can be an issue. But yes, I mean, you get into the right team. We will guide you there. We will get you the helps that you may need, and walk you through some of the info that we have with you. We'll share it with you and see if it makes an issue with you. Now, the next one is, this is a consideration I want to give it to you, that some of you will tell me, like, okay, Manoj, what happens is we are paying $3,000 per month. But obviously, if you cannot afford it, I wouldn't be suggesting it to you. No, don't go there. But then, if you by chance can afford it, and you can procure this property, then you have to think it over, that buying is like a forced saving. And I'll have to correct this wording as such. It is buying is as a forced saving, not renting. So we'll have to correct on that one. So whenever you're trying to buy something, and this particular $3,000 amount is going per month out of your pocket, it is basically a saving. It's a forced saving. That's the best way I can put it together for you. Now, this is the last one I would like to ponder on to you, because see, there is an equation here which says income. Now, to procure a property for $500,000, you require an income of $100,000. You say, okay, you sound perfect. Everything works. My credit is good. We can work with the deposit. I do not have the income to reach there. Some of the people in the market, they have done something interesting. And that's what I sent it over to you on the emails. They are now looking into co-ownership. This is like just a suggestion that some others are doing it. I am not sure how good it is. I'm not sure about what all, like a Pandora box will open up when you do co-ownership. But I mean, if you have some good friends you can rely on, again, these are legal and you will have legal challenges. You should always have a lawyer walk you through all this particular thing. But yes, in case if you're tremendously suffering with the issue of renting, why don't you you can also dwell into co-ownership. And let me, if I can get you this particular article on Google, which I had emailed it to you all. So let me go there and get you that article, and which was on co-ownership, which was a very interesting, because I have seen this particular part of co-ownership sometimes back, which was going on with some people, and I found it interesting. But I mean, everything, even when it is interesting, you're getting into legal challenges, you're getting into the issues. It's not, you have to, let me get you that article now. Yes, so I am at this particular article now, and so this was a co-ownership on the rise as buyers look to enter expensive housing markets. And some people in I think so in Niagara Falls have recently done this. So that is also an aspect to look into. So that is my brief for today on my monologue. And I hope you got some insight into this one. And now let me see if I can get our friend and the expert here. Let's see if I can bring him online. His name is Faisal Garcia, and we are going to give it one more try this time and see if we can hear him properly. And let me go and get him live on our Skype interview. Wonderful. Hi, Faisal.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Fine. How about you?
Good.
I hope the third time works out. Let's see.
Third time is the charm.
Is the charm? Yes. And I would suggest, in case if you can hear him out properly, then give us a 1 on the chat, and we'll really appreciate that, so that we can get him rolling. But
Can I get my mic right?
yes,
And I'll speak a little louder.
little louder,
So,
and yeah, so we are doing fine. Yes. So now till people come over there and hear you out, and when we get into this one, so give me a brief. I mean, like you just heard my monologue. What do you want to add to it?
okay, so one interesting one, the co-ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I have done 2 files in last 80. I have to correct this number memory. It's 3.5 and 6.5, so almost 10 years.
Okay.
In 10 years of my career, I've seen 2 files,
Okay.
both successfully done.
Okay.
What I mean is there were 2 college friends that I helped them buy 2010, and 5 years later, when it was time to renew the mortgage, one of them was about to get married, and so he sold his portion to the other partner and took his equity and bought a new home.
Yeah, the main thing here is, like, see, Faisal, this is what I am getting it from every day that I'm talking to people is, renting is becoming, it's a nightmare now. It has become a nightmare. I mean, I had the other day, this I discussed it in my last webinar, a person telling me a one bedroom, he's looking at $2,300 in downtown Toronto. He says, why don't I go and buy a property? And I said, yes, that's what it is. I had another friend, and he said he has gone to nth number of places, and he cannot get a rental. That's the bottom. And when we are doing rental listings, they're going in multiple offer situations. So you will have to come up with something else. And I mean, I am very much like skeptical about doing co-ownership or anything else. But I mean, these are the options we'll have to consider these days. I mean, things are going out of our hands.
See, out of hundreds of mortgage files that I've done, I've only seen two. So the number is quite small. But it can be done as long as both the parties are on the same page, and there's legality.
Yes. The basic thing here is everyone has to have a good lawyer. Everyone has to understand what you're getting into, and everyone has to be very sure what the obligations are before getting into it. I think so. So let me see if no one has updated us that if we are doing good on the chat or something, that I think so everyone can hear us. We haven't received any complaints so far. So let's go to the detail of yours. That is what we were there for. Okay, so now let me get into the details, and let's start with this one. So as I have been telling them that
We can hear him, but again it's soft.
okay, again, everyone has of the same one that this is the info that I am getting, that they can hear you, but it is very, very soft. So do you think there is any way that there is volume can be increased or something?
What we can do is, for this time, I'll just speak louder,
Okay,
and for next time,
we'll have to
get
fix
a
it.
technician on my laptop.
Okay, I'll maybe like we'll try to get you that help. So try to speak loud in your mic. We'll work on that one. Okay, so now let's get into the expertise here, which is the repair outline. Okay, now you have quite an expertise on credit repair, and that is what I have been telling them. Like, in case if last time I had walked some of my webinar guests, that in case your credit score is below 500, yes,
Your voice is gone too.
if it is below 500, then go with rent to own program. If it is between 501 and 600, then stay with credit score, getting your credit repaired, because it'll be much faster to get your credit repaired than trying to get into the costly and the worst case scenario for the rent to own program. Okay, so now, yes, so now when we are telling them for credit repair, so that is where we are giving them this heads up to go into the details. So now, assuming that a file has come to you and it requires credit, and on the basis of your notes, you had told me it is the initial assessment. So now let's get into this particular part. What exactly did you mean by initial assessment?
Okay, so the initial assessment is really a scan from top to bottom, where I just go through piece by piece that I need questions answered. So what I mean by that is a typical credit report on an average has about 14 things to be checked.
Okay.
Okay, 1-4. An extensive, really long credit history, let's say 15, 20 years of it. A lot of it doesn't show, but there are some things that still continue to show if you have had that credit for open for that amount of time. And it could be as many as 26 items. So it's really an assessment to see where the client stands.
Okay, so basically you go from 15 points to 26 points to see the initial assessment. So
Exactly.
you're going to essentially going through their credit reports and analyzing it where exactly it stands.
Yeah, and in detail.
And in detail. Okay. And okay, so now let's see what's our next point of view is. And then you go into, you say consultation. What exactly now that encompasses?
So consultation is showing the client what options do they have.
Okay.
There are usually more than one ways to achieve the goal. So for instance, a client comes from you, it's wants to repair their credit and buy a home. That's typically the case. But there are clients that want to buy different products, like a car or something else. And based on what product they're buying, their credit has to be in a certain way for them to achieve that product in the shortest amount of time possible.
Okay, so I'm running into probably, I think so, there may be a Skype connection issue because we run into something which is like we didn't hear you and then we heard you. Okay, so so basically what you're saying about consultation is that they may have credit issues, they may have car loans, they may have some other liabilities, and you're trying to figure it out how to go about which ones needed to be fixed right now, which ones can take a priority, which can follow later.
Exactly.
Okay, so those are some of the steps that you're working on when you're doing that. Okay. Next one is, what exactly is this now? Is the dispute process.
So when a client does not agree with the rating provided by a lender, for instance, a TD visa, client thinks it was not late. They paid on the date of the due date. And the TD has reported 30 days late. That's a dispute.
Okay.
And there is a process for it.
Okay. So you basically, like, I've seen it with a few of my clients that you were able to get their Equifax resolved, and is that true, or I mean, like that's how you can handle it?
Yes, it can be done.
It can be done. So there is a process.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a process. So that's what you're telling me. Like, okay, there is a process, like with Equifax and TransUnion but okay, now just out of curiosity, because the lots of people keep on asking me this one is, you guys use the FICO score when Equifax TransUnion is there, and so what's how you can explain me this particular part?
Okay, so there is FICO is a US version of credit vision score, which is not what a lender sees when they pull the credit report. So it's a bit different and typically a little better than Beacon score.
Okay, so but I mean, you're getting a very good idea from Equifax and TransUnion.
Yes.
But I mean, I was just talking to someone. She had a very good credit score on TransUnion, but it was showing poor and bad on Equifax. What's going on there?
I do get That's because the lenders they've worked with in the past are only reporting on Equifax.
Oh, okay.
Lenders don't have to report on both.
Oh, okay. So you mean to say some lenders are only reporting TransUnion, some lenders are only reporting Equifax?
Yes. And some are reporting both.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's how your whole scenario goes. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Is the important one is negotiation. Okay, so how do you what transpires in negotiation there?
Okay, so let's say client had a visa bill that was 6 months ago, did not pay on time. Now it's in collection, and client wants to somehow settle that matter.
Okay.
Okay. Now, to part of repairing credit is to settle your outstanding debt.
Okay.
Okay. So in that they can choose to either employ us or they can do it themselves.
Okay.
It's an optional service.
But you do give them that service of negotiating it on their behalf.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. And how successful is this format?
We've been working with credit collection agencies for last 2.5, 3 years
Okay.
since the company Credit Repair now has been in existence.
Okay.
So we've sort of developed a rapport where we know how much their limit is,
Mm-hmm.
how much we can push them
Mm-hmm.
to lower the amount and still get full payment, full repairs done.
Okay. I have seen myself, you had done wonders for one of our clients. So I know how best and good you work with negotiations. So I give you kudos for that. Yes.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Yes. Okay. So now next one is improvement. So let's get into this. What exactly transpires in improvement?
This is a hard thing. Every time I explain,
Hmm.
people think it's automatic. It should be automatic. For instance, let's say a client comes to us and says, "Oh, I have bad credit. I owe $2,000." I negotiate, get the payment done.
Okay.
Okay, arrange a loan, whatever the case is. Make the payment. The debt is now gone. Now the client thinks that their score will improve automatically.
Okay.
Okay, up to an extent, yes. But if they're looking to buy a home in 6 months, then no. So depending on how much time you have,
Okay.
at the same time, if you're looking to buy a product, because no one wakes up in the morning says, "I want to repair my credit." They want to either buy something or they're being rejected from something.
But I mean the bottom line here is uh, the credit you have done repairs of credit, is that right?
Yes.
And when I am giving this information to them, is that a fair statement that between 501 and 600, if you are there, it is much more faster to get the credit repair done than the rent to own?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So we are like within the time frame of corrections there.
Exactly.
Okay.
It could be credit repairs are very different with every product.
Okay.
I have seen as little as 1 month, and I've seen as much as 9 months.
Oh, okay. Okay. So and depending upon the situation and the other stuff together. Okay. And last one of yours is maintenance. So the word is self-explanatory, but let's see where exactly would that format come in picture.
Maintenance means, so let's say there are two trade lines and client is making the payment but the score is still not right.
Okay.
There are few things that the client can do, and there are few things I can do in the background to help them to score boost.
Okay.
So that's the part main.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So my main thing here is like in case if you comprehend my monologue, that at a certain stage you will have to get into this real estate bandwagon, and if you have to, what no matter what your situation is, we have the team for you, we have the experts for you. We are trying to cover all aspects of it. So that's what I've been emailing them constantly. Like, your situation is unique. Give me your real estate and mortgage queries, and let's see if we have a solution for you. I had a really strange call today, and she was wanting me to walk her through the entire rent to own program. And then she was running into problems at all ends. Like, okay, I've called so many rent to own people, and they're all different. Then I started understanding her situation, and I started giving her the alternatives. And within no time, she told me, I am going to call you back and go and have a full discussion with you, because now you are talking sense. Now there are other options. There are many things on the table, and it is, there's no harm in just picking up your phone, calling us up, and getting alternatives there. And that is what we do. We are part of. I also told them last time, like, we love challenges. The bigger the challenge, the more we are in there, and the best. And then also I told them, like, the tougher it goes, the tougher we will come up with solutions.
Yep.
So that is what it is. So wonderful. I hope we get you right on the on this sound and everything. Otherwise, we may get you fixed up, and then we may need to repeat all this over again for next time. So again, hang in there. Just if we may run into some questions for you, but let me now go to the next slide. And I think so maybe this would be our last slide for the day, because we are already running close to my monologue were much more than I anticipated. But I was very pretty serious, because that's the trend going on in the market. And I have a strong feeling like at a certain stage, you will have to get into this particular bandwagon of real estate. Okay, so now let me get into this. This is again a simple question, but people keep on asking me about. Okay, we're trying to purchase a property. Can you like just give us all the fees that are involved? I mean, what all are the fees? So I'm going to give you a broader picture, and let's see if the time is there. Then I'll follow it up with an example, or otherwise we may again pick it up for next week and follow it up with an example. Okay, so now, simple thing. Okay, we have the amounts associated with buying a property. Okay, we are just going to give you a scenario that whether you're buying a condo, whether you're buying a freehold, some of these fees, there is a minor difference between the two, but major of them should be similar. So now let's talk about, first of all, is the fees is a real estate fees. Now, as like major rule, mostly buyers, real estate agents, they get paid by the sellers. You have a contract with them, and they get paid by the sellers. So your real estate fees, unless the scenario is different, most of the time will be covered, and you don't pay for it, because that's how the whole real estate setup is done. That I mean, major part of it is paid by the sellers, and when you are buying, you basically are not paying. When you are selling, you're paying almost for two agents there. So that's the entire format of it in general rule. There are exceptions to it. There are some other formats real estate agents may have. But major part of it, you can hang on with this particular format. Next one is, and that is the main things comes into picture is the CMHC fees, that is the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation fees, and it is called the high ratio mortgage insurance. Now, just as a thumb rule, whenever you are trying to purchase a property, the banks are not going all the way to 100%, or if you're putting down 5%, then the banks are not going all the way 95%. The banks are only going, depending upon your situation, maybe 70, 75, 80%. There are variations depending upon the type of the property, and the rest of the money is being done as a high ratio mortgage insurance by few companies. We have CMHC, we have Genworth, and we have Canada Guarantee, if I'm not wrong. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the three. Is that right? At the moment we have three of them which are there in high ratio mortgage insurance. Yes. So now if you are putting down 5% and you will be charged a fee of 4% of the purchase price. So it is quite an amount. And let's say suppose I'll give you a rough format on this one. You purchase a property for $500,000 and you put down 5%. You will be expecting that your mortgage should be $475,000. No, this 4% will be added. So it may be close to even 495. So don't get surprised when you see your mortgage amount close to the 495 mark when you've already put down $25,000. And that is what is the high ratio mortgage insurance fees, and it gets added to your mortgage. So that's fees. Sometimes in the end, people are not aware where this $20,000 is coming from. So that is the high ratio mortgage insurance fees that is coming in there. Okay, now let's go through the closing cost. I'm giving you rough closing cost. Now, approximately, you can take it as it can be 1.5% of the purchase price. Now, that means if you're buying a property for close to $500,000, you're looking at close to $7,500, and this includes your lawyer fees, your registration, your title insurance, and your other paperworks with the lawyers, and the land transfer fees. All of those constitute your closing cost. And I'm just giving you a thumb rule for basic minimum 1.5% of a purchase price if you're a first time buyer. And it can go higher all the way up to 2.5% in some residential when you are not a first time buyer. And there is also a rebate for first time buyers. So the lawyers will exactly give you some of the numbers, but that is the fees that is called as closing cost, which has to be in there. So you have to work on this particular number also, which is called the closing cost. Now, two things which are like nominal amounts, but they are still there, and just trying to give you the entire picture of exactly what all you will have to have a home insurance, and that is required for closing a property or closing a file. And generally, like it's so you can team up this one with your car insurance and home insurance, so you may get some rebate on those ones. But yes, home insurance will be required for files. And now this one is the last one that we are going to go through with, is home inspection. And if you're trying to buy a freehold property, it is advisable, strongly advisable, that you do a home inspection. And that is the one-time fee, or until and unless you go to some 2-3 properties, then you may have to pay at each time if you find problems with the property, and then you have to do the home inspection again. there is this home inspection amount. If you are doing a condo, and if it's on your property, yes, you have those options, and you can get guidance with your real estate agents, and you can get guidance there how to go about it. But home inspection is one of the fee structure that you should be considering. These are some of the fees outlined, and some of the major ones, like you may come across, they are not there, but you may require a survey of the property down the line, in case if you could not procure a survey of the property. Generally they range between $1,000 to $1,500 per property. Residential, commercial can be a completely different and ball game, completely different scenario. So I'm only trying to get you some ideas on the residential aspect of it, between condos and homes and regular scenario properties. And I think so we are covering, and next week I will start with trying to get you some info on this particular. Let's say, suppose if you purchased a property for $400,000, how much is going to be your per month. So these are whatever fees I've just talked to you. I'll be just giving you a heads up on this particular one. So we will start from there, the property purchase, all the breakdowns, and so you can again understand more details into it. Now I have always let me give you two things so that you can, before I close it down for today. And again, a big thank you to Faisal Garcia for managed to coming on board, and really appreciate. He's as much I speak about him, the less it is. The reason is because he is an expert and a mortgage agent par excellence. He does wonders with his credit repair, with his mortgages, and now also as a rent to own expert. He's on board, and he'll be putting some of his expertise there. He loves challenges. He's very, very good and very meticulous there. So really we have very happy to have him on board there to put these files together. Let me see now. So again, for people to just give them an idea to register, again I'll just brief them with this particular last format of mine for the day today. And these are 2-3 things that I always recommend them, that kindly register here for regular basis. And let me get you now on that particular page. Give me one moment here, so I can now take you onto this particular page, which is like I'm about to close it out in another 2 minutes. This is where is my page where I curate around 8 or 10 articles on a daily basis and email it to all my clients and all my subscribers here, and those who have registered here. And the basic thing here is like today's article, top one was Toronto condo prices hit a new all-time high. Price growth accelerates. Yes, condos have taken a completely different turn, and everything is on the rise. And that's when I come on my own entire monologue was on that basis, because things are changing and we have to come up with alternative solutions. And that is where we are for tonight. So taking a leave on this particular note, let's meet next week, and let's call it a day. And thank you again for attending the webinar. Thank you very much, Faisal. Really appreciate you being here. Cannot thank you enough for today. I hope the sound comes in okay. And we will again we'll work it out for next time. And I hope our listeners can give us some respite in case if the sound was not proper. and we will be there again with you next week, and probably the third one. The October one is the long weekend coming, so we may be there for next time, and then we may have to take a break for the long weekend. Okay, thank you everyone. Good night. Thank you, Faisal. Good night.